From the center of the galaxy, this is ForceCenter, show about Star Wars, pop culture, and the ultimate adventure just showing up. I'm Ken Napzok.
I'm Jenn Landa. That really resonates with me. Just showing up. That's what I tell my kids. I'm like, obviously work hard. The first step, showing up.
Showing up. Get that check by the box. We're here for a special edition of Star Wars news. You might see it is Ken and Jenn in the afternoon, actually, by the time we're recording this. But we're here. Joseph Scrimshaw is still finishing his film, Dead Media. It is, as with any film, it is a adventure full of how do you balance and manage all the stresses that come racing at you at once while still making art you love. And he's racing towards the premiere October 20th in Minneapolis. Information on his social media pages if you're local or local enough to get there. I highly suggest you do. So, Jenn, we're here to pick up the slack and hold up ForceCenter as we sneak through another week.
Sneak through. Oh, yeah, that resonates with me too.
Yeah, look, I'll just be honest. Like, for those that are longtime listeners, I think you get it. If you're just kind of casual or swinging through or swinging back, or maybe you've never taken the dive in with us. You're like, hey, I heard about that ForceCenter show. Isn't it the show that just does 2 hours on how important Dexter Jettster is to Star Wars? That is us. But we are just kind of swinging through the news this week. All three of us just pulled in many different directions the last couple of weeks. I was in Arizona traveling. Jenn, you are knee deep in higher education.
Yes. In fact, I wrote down for my notes. I was just like not even thinking about it. I wrote aphasia. That has nothing to do with Star Wars, but my brain is so focused on aphasia right now and dementia.
It sounds.
Yeah.
Well. Good thing to study.
Yeah.
What over-the-counter pill causes that? We're here, but we're going to talk about Star Wars news. We're going to catch up on some stuff. As always, we want to remind you the show is sponsored by our own merch store. You check out our Fourth Wall shop down below. Help support ForceCenter out in the wild. The link is there if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening, it's ForceCenter-shop.fourthwall.com, ForceCenter-shop.fourthwall.com. Thanks to those who have subscribed on YouTube as we try to reach our next goal of 10,500 subscribers. With that, we'll re-release a Star Wars ranked video with visuals. Follow us on Blue Sky. Follow us on TikTok. That's all. Did I say TikTok?
TikTok.
Yeah, might as well. TikTok. That's all the things. That's all the housekeeping. Little life adventures. Like I said, I was traveling. It's still... I personally still don't feel it's weird to talk about Star Wars. I think it's very important to talk about Star Wars in these times. I've had many moments in the last couple weeks where just talking about Star Wars beyond the headlines of the day, but just what it means and what it can mean to people has really connected with some friends of mine in just casual conversation. So I'm always reminded that despite a lot of the rallies of the world, and we talked about the Jimmy Kimmel news and how it related to ABC, Disney, and Star Wars last week, and now he's back, and there's some scars still for some fans. I get that. It's just a complicated world, Jenn, because even as we're recording today, I'm finding more and more out about the deal yesterday of which Electronic Arts, EA, the video game company, which I play many games still, is now being purchased by some controversial figures. And it's like it's hard to escape the real world while also trying to escape the real world.
Yes. Yeah. And really, it's about finding joy, which sounds kind of absurd and perhaps trivial. We have so many things that we're worried about, battles that we're waging with family and friends over very important life things, right? But it's at the same time, it's like, I need to recharge my battery. And whether it's Star Wars or for me lately, it's been watching The Studio. I finally started watching The Studio.
Love The Studio.
Yep. Oh my gosh, I'm on episode 3. And it's just like, I need this. I need this so that I can continue to fight another day.
Yeah. And so that ForceCenter continues to find itself in the middle of all that. And we try to do right by our listeners, our viewers, and just ourselves in this complicated world. But put that aside for a little bit right now, Jen. We do want to get right into the Star Wars news. While you and I have the time to cover it today, like I said, apologize. Maybe it's just my I'm a good boy who follows all the rules self, Jen, where I want to apologize to fans that you're not going to get the 19-hour deep dive into the meanings of the Mando trailer today.
No. I have a notebook full of notes, but the different kind of notes.
Yeah. But the what's called the official Mando and the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer dropped last week. which itself came at a time that a lot of people thought was distractionary. And I do want to say that wasn't the case. That's just not the case. It serves as that.
Yeah.
And it puts us all in this weird spot. But I can assure you to just think that Uncle Bob calls up Kathy and says, give me a trailer now. It's not the reality. This was planned a long time before what happened last week. It was put on hold.
Yeah.
And then Monday, hey, we're probably going to bring her back. You guys launch your trailers. The Muppet thing with Seth Rogen was launched on Wednesday. No one remembers it because an hour or so later, the Kimmel stuff happened. So that's just reality, and I get it. I think a lot of people might want to be upset. They dropped that to make you forget. It can be that if you let it be that, but I also want to push back against conspiracy theories on all sides of things, and that was just not the reality. This trailer was set to launch last week and had been set for a while. So that aside, Jen, the real world aside, and feel free to add any thoughts on that. But I just want to get your reaction to The Mandalorian and Grogu. Minute 35, full of action. Grogu swimming, stealing food, and crunching on Munch. What do you think?
He was crunching away. He was walking in a lot of shots, shuffling. I liked it. I thought it was really cute. The truth is, there's never going to be, right now, there's never going to be a good time to release anything because there is always something catastrophic, shocking, upsetting that is happening. And, so where it found me, it was kind of like, oh, okay. I've already been on this roller coaster with Jimmy Kimmel and ABC and all that stuff. So I had to watch it a few times, and I just watched it again this morning, and I had a new appreciation for it. And I really talked to myself and I said, look at the expectations and the hype. I think one of the challenges that this trailer has, which is kind of a consensus that I saw with some parts of the internet, if this was season 4, a teaser for season 4 of The Mandalorian, I think I personally would have been like, oh, this looks amazing. Oh, I can't wait. But I think there is something about the fact that this is for the big screen. What makes what we're seeing, how is it different than what we've already gotten on Disney Plus? I don't think that they're revealing all of that yet. It's what did it say? It was forged for IMAX or something like that. So the shots are going to look amazing on the big screen. But I think the appeal for this movie is not in the new and whatever. It really is about people going to the movie theater, whether you have kids. I don't think it's going to appeal to grandkids, but like friend groups going together, adults hanging out. I think that's why you go to the movie theater for this movie. Not because it's like new, something you've never seen before. We've kind of seen some of these things before, truthfully.
Totally. Yeah. No, I kind of want to jump in there and do it in a way that is calm and reasoned, because there's been a lot of kerfuffle on the internet of it just looks like a season 4, or it just looks like another episode. And I want to say, I want to remove the snark, even the snark I just had there, to say, I actually understand what people are saying. That's been hanging over this film since it was suddenly announced. And I do believe it. And I don't know, we don't have this anywhere, but we know at one point Johnny Favs had said, all the season 4 scripts are written. Obviously there was a change. Obviously now it's in theaters, and it's without a doubt going to have to prove itself once it gets to theaters that it isn't just that. But I also like what you're saying, that, but also it is just that. It is The Mandalorian and Grogu on a big adventure that we all can gather around, much like we did in November 2019 in our own living rooms when we were texting our friends. Refresh it. Is your episode up yet? Remember that wonderful night, midnight Pacific? And I think that's part of the appeal, and part of the appeal of the trailer. I'll get into some more of the details of what I thought was in there that was different, or makes me feel better that, they know what they're doing. But any reaction to that, Jen?
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, look, this is the appeal. This right here, I'm holding up a little Grogu wearing a Build-A-Bear outfit.
For the audio listeners, it is Grogu in a jumper with Grogu merch on it. It's Grogu in a Grogu.
I don't even think he works anymore. Oh, there he is.
There he is. There he goes.
I mean, this is why, right? Because that's why technically the second and the third shot are Grogu looking adorable, and Grogu later on in the trailer eating a snack, like you're saying, like that. will appeal to a wide audience. And it's just like, oh yeah, let's go see it. There's gonna literally be people saying, let's go see the Grogu movie. Let's go see it. Why
Hmm.
not? What are you doing on a Friday night? I
Yep.
don't know what the competition looks like. But it could be just a
Mm.
fun night out. And I hear that the younger generation is all about deep unplugging themselves and getting
Yeah.
together in person. I just saw an article about that.
These kids, these youths, they're looking for third spaces, everybody. We need third spaces.
Yes.
That's what I hear. I hear Professor Scott Galloway talking about third spaces. No, I think there's great value. And look, in terms of the trailer itself, like it brought me joy, and I think that's of great value in this world. There's a discussion to be had of this post-Andor world. You are without a doubt going to have the folks that just, I don't even think they mean it bad, but it comes off as annoying to me personally. Of the, there was even some Star Wars authors of novels that I just muted. I just couldn't take anymore because Star Wars novelists always seem to be the most head up their own asses, to be honest. I've always had a lot of problem with the Star Wars authors. Um, sorry, am I revealing that for the first time? That I just like, you write books, kids. You're not in the screenplay game. Like, enjoy your books. Like, and quit criticizing the films. That like, but there's this like going to be this attitude towards anything post Andor that doesn't feel adult. And we've been battling this since the 80s, that anything fun, poppy, pulpy, genre based can't carry the depth to it. And we are fighting till we're blue in the face, Jen, about this, going back to comics of the 60s, 70s, and 80s. And how we were raised. And without a doubt, there's a lot of fluff in that stuff. But Star Wars is always going to be fun, pulpy, and poignant. Andor was a different vibe that we both love. Love it. And this is Tony Gilroy saying it. Tony Gilroy has come out many times to support Mandalorian, Grogu, the show, and everything. But trying to put aside just the actual, like, real anger I have towards those folks that just want to make sure they point out at how adult and mature they are for loving Andor over this stuff. It's like, we get it, dude. We get it. But,
No.
sorry. It's just enough, man. It's enough. It's enough for me, where it's like, you aren't as wise as y'all think about this stuff. Because this is going to, I think, strike a chord, Jen. It's going to have poignant stuff. It's going to have big themes. It's just like everything else. Just like season 3 of Mando had some of the biggest themes that were important to the conversation of Star Wars and the lessons of Star Wars. This film will have it, but it is also going to be a baby gurgling his way through the galaxy, and I think people are going to react to that.
I 100% agree. And I think that we can have the more adult Star Wars with Andor and Acolyte, whatever you want to say. But at the end
Mhm.
of the day, I feel like a lot of parents like myself, we are wanting to take our kids to the movie theaters. And there has not been a lot of content. That's why people went to go see K-pop Demon Hunters, because it's like, okay, yeah, sing along, whatever. But it's like, yay, I can finally take my kids to the movies as opposed to just only going once a year. Like we're looking forward to Wicked later on this year. And I was just around a bunch of young basketball players, first graders and second grade basketball players.
Oh, I was going to say rookies from the Clippers. Like, what's going on?
WNBA. And these are these young kids that I could very well see them going to this movie. These young girls. It is accessible. It's not like a lot of people, and what I've noticed with my kids' school is that Star Wars is very gendered, and there are mainly boys that do wear the Star Wars merchandise. It's just a fact, and it sucks, but it's the reality. But this movie can change that. We've already seen how powerful this Grogu is, that I see young girls wearing Grogu merchandise. So Grogu is the key to all this, in the words of George.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking forward to it, and I think it's going to be a huge hit. And is it going to do anything new? Does it have to? No, it doesn't.
No, I don't think it does. And again, I get it. So, like I said up top, taking away any anger, and I apologize for some of the anger I'm showing today, but it's just like I've just with everything going on in the world, where I look every day at the headline to see, oh, did World War III start? Ugh. And that's not a joke. Like, to have people go out of their way to really just act above Star Wars, when often they're involved in it, I'm at my wit's end with it. And I don't think this movie needs to do anything drastically different. I already think there's some things in it. We haven't seen a ton.
Mm-mm.
This trailer is, for the most part, kind of what had been shown at conventions in the past. And if you watch any of the clips because you weren't there and you found footage found its way to you, great. But like even just the opening shot of this trailer, Jen, of Din and Din Djarin and Din Grogu on a sand dune looking through space binoculars there, looked bigger than anything on the show before. Which means even though it's going to hit similar beats, it's like going to a concert and your band puts out a new song. You're like, yeah, give me the bigger, wilder, newer version of something I already love, right? I don't need this to be Mandalorian and Grogu, the sit around a campfire and pontificate movie.
Yeah.
I need this to be walkers falling down hills, Rada the Hutt or whoever that is, fighting in an arena. And Grogu eating munch is a good thing.
Yes. I mean, let's break that down. Like for me, the highlights, there were so many fun monsters, creatures. It felt very Phil Tippett. It felt very like original trilogy, these big monsters, right? I loved that. The walker falling over the cliff. That I was like, what is that? What is that? Is that a practical one? Is it CGI? Like what? I loved that shot. It was so cool. The title card. It looks very Indiana Jones, right? Like it literally spelled like it's adventure. It's adventure. It is fun. Now the hut in the room. I do have to ask. I have thoughts.
Let's talk about the hut in the room.
I have thoughts. Okay, first of all, do you think that this is Rada?
I actually don't.
Okay.
That's the first, you know what, Jen? It's the first time someone's asked me that. I think if I'm betting,
yeah,
Rada is favored and the point spread is tight. So I think I'd still say it's Rada, but I don't know. It seems like a bit of a, because none of that was confirmed, right? None of the Jeremy Allen White is Rada. Embo, voiced by Dave Filoni. That's all been circulating, and I accept it as truth, but it's not been confirmed. So I also think that this could be someone else, a Gracchus, whatever. Make up a new hut, but it also could be Rada. Like I'm not. It sounds like I'm cheating my bet, but I've thought a few times that we might not be seeing what we think we're seeing.
So wait a minute. I see. I don't even remember this. Jeremy Allen White was not confirmed as Rada. He's just playing a hut, or we don't even know what he's playing.
To my knowledge, I will look that up live on the air because this is the problem of scoop culture.
Yeah.
Often it does come from people in the industry who are around the industry who are trying to make a buck. Guess what? I am too. So there is there is confirmation from the Hollywood Reporter, to be clear. So I'm going to click on this article. So like I said, that's why I treat it as well. Let me get through the pop-ups asking me to give $1 to sign up for everything, which I also agree because they're trying to make a buck. We're all just trying to make a buck. So the Hollywood Reporter has confirmed it. Lucasfilm did not respond to a request for comment. White is said to voice Rada the Hutt. Said to voice. And again, I have accepted all that as fact. I have, and we have a little bit of ties to some of the inside tracks to information, and this all tracks to me. I only say it is not confirmed from Lucasfilm to just kind of remind us all that that all kind of gets tossed into a bucket. And the bucket's called confirmed, and it's really, part of the stew is the meat you want to chew on. The other part is just complete bullshit. So that's kind of where I'm going with that. Anyways, I don't want to take away any of your thoughts from the hut in the room.
Well, now that I know that he may be playing just a hut and not Rada the Hutt, that's a huge distinction that I feel I'm very passionate about.
Huge.
It's a big so the first thing that I noticed was I was like, is this Jeremy Allen White? And if so, they manipulated his voice. Like it sounds slightly deeper. It sounds like if he were to put on some like wrestling kind of like The Rock or whatever, right? Second thing is he's speaking in basic, like he says, yes. That's not Huttese. There's no yes
Mm-hmm.
in Huttese as far as I remember.
Mm.
So that adds a whole other thing where I'm like, is this the first Hutt that we're gonna see that is speaking? Well, no, that's not true because Zero spoke in.
Zero. Yeah.
Yeah,
Zero
yeah.
spoke.
Okay,
Yeah.
so but anyways, my point still stands. Shocking to see a Hutt in live action not speaking Huttese. I kind of don't like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I,
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't have a thought either way on that. It is a little weird. Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. I mean, I've grown to love Zero in a way,
Oh
but
yeah, yeah, of course.
seeing that in 2008 was a little different too. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yes, right. Yeah, yeah. So
Mm.
I mean, but look, seeing a Hutt at all, I'm like, all right, I like that. It makes me happy, and I think, oh, of course,
Yeah.
the Enzellans, more cuteness. I loved the tag,
Mm.
good shot, baby, or whatever. Hilarious.
Yeah.
My kids will love that. Um,
Yeah.
it's just cuteness overload. Let's just have fun.
Yeah.
Grab some snacks. Get a popcorn
Right.
bucket. I'm sure it'll be themed at El Cap.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It'll be. Yeah. What do you think it's gonna be? Have they ever had a Grogu one, or is it just Din's head that you eat? I
Oh,
don't
I
know.
don't know. I feel like
Maybe it is Rod of the Hut. And it's these
one.
big muscular arms, and you move one down, and like butter mixes with the pup. It's like a McDeal tea from back in the cold and the hot.
You know what? At Disneyland, they
Yeah.
had a Hut. They had a
Oh,
Jabba
okay. I've
popcorn
seen the
bucket.
Jabba one.
I
Okay.
regret not getting it because I saw a woman who bedazzled it with gems, and I was like, oh, it could be an evening bag. I digress. I'm gonna look at my notes here.
Yes, it could. It could be an evening bag. There you go. I love seeing Zeb. Excuse
Oh
me,
yeah.
not Zeb Sineska. Zeb in action. We've seen a lot of what we think is the opening sequence or one of the big sequences for the walkers in the snow, and it all looks spectacular. And my final thoughts here overall, I think I thumbs up on the trailer. I enjoyed it. It was a weird time for it. Like you said up top. I want people to think to realize it was not just magically released on Monday during the height of all those problems, but it does serve as this is a weird feeling if you're plugged in politically to the world and what was going on. So I didn't watch it with in depth, but revisiting it this morning, a lot of fun. And the final thing is, like you mentioned, forged by IMAX, which is, I love that, we got some Lord of the Rings characters forging a film for IMAX. But the idea of, is it going to be bigger on the big screen? It will be, because they're aware of it, right?
Right.
These are professionals.
Yeah.
The fact, I think it's a fair question to ask, and the more important question is what you're asking, Jed, is it going to put a lot of new things or different things? Is it going to be the greatest hits? And I think some people will not like that. Some people will like that. But I think the idea that, is it just going to be another episode? Like, it's going to feel bigger. They've made movies before. Jon Favreau's made movies before. He knows how to do it. Just let him cook. Let him cook.
This is a thing that my husband and I have been talking about, and it's very timely with everything that's been happening with the Tylenol stuff. People who are experts at their craft or their science, like, we have to understand that me just reading a little study from or not even reading, but getting it secondhand from a TikToker does not equate me with a scientist. Just like me watching a movie doesn't equate me with being a filmmaker. Like, I mean, we can obviously dissect art. We can say whether it impacted us in some way as a viewer. But you are so right. At the end of the day, these people are experts. I'm going to trust that they know how to make a movie, and they're going to make it, quote unquote, more cinematic for the movie theater.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It doesn't mean everything's going to hit.
No.
Everything's perfect. But when a movie doesn't work, it is 92 factors, not just simply one person behind it. Hell, I'm not here to I don't know too much about the details of the Fantastic Four from 2015, but it ain't all on Josh Trank's shoulders. But he got hit with it because maybe some of the things he did and his behaviors. But even then, I can't recount it all in detail. To your point, Jen, it just becomes a headline that is treated as fact.
Right.
But if you understand the entire story and the corporate meddling in that film, it's not just one person. It rarely is. And so just give Johnny Favs, folks, give him the trust you would give him if he was making a Cubano for you right in front of your eyes.
Oh, yes.
I am recording this episode hungry and grouchy. Maybe that's why I'm so grouchy today. Moving on to Star Wars Starfighter, while we were kind of out and about and you were busy, Jen, they released a promo photo that is coming more from Sean Levy's social, which is also taking us back to maybe the early days of Mando in production, or Ron Howard on Solo, or even Ryan Johnson at times, where social media was the number one source of Star Wars news from the people making it. But now we got a second photo that was out. We're playing catch up with this story, especially with you, Ryan Gosling, and oh my God, I was going to look up the kid's name. Finn Gray, Finn Gray. I apologize to him. He's going to have a longer career than I'll ever dream of. But Flynn Gray, there it is. Out and about in the water, somewhere lost in the Mediterranean Sea, or whatever Levy's post was. Levy. I apologize to the Levy family. Looking like on some sort of speeders, cut adrift, and everyone talking about Gosling's pants. Jen, I know this film hits you a little bit different than other folks, so what do you think about this one?
I was walking to pick up my kids, and I saw this on my timeline, and I was like, what? I genuinely did not know it was a Star Wars movie. I did not put the connection. I saw Gosling, and I saw it was a Star Wars account that was sharing it. But the first thing I was like, Waterworld. Then, this is how fast it worked. Waterworld, then Hook from 1991, to then I'm spiraling, remembering, and I don't know if you've ever seen this, or any of you out there have seen this. Back in the day, I don't know if they still have Treasure Island at Las Vegas. Do you remember that hotel? What was it called?
Yes.
Treasure Island.
Treasure Island.
They used to have a show outside of their hotel with these ships in water and like pyrotechnics.
Yes.
That's what this image reminded me of. And I don't know what that means, other than they didn't give us a desert, which has been a common complaint, where they're like, oh, another desert.
Right.
Okay.
Another
How
desert.
about water?
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up, because that's my only big takeaway from this photo. I like it enough. I'm looking forward to the film. I'm looking forward to it. You have some, whether or not you want to dive in deep today, Jen, it's your words, your agency on it. But this film might not be for everyone, but I like that, and it sounds dumb, but just as a Star Wars fan, going back 40 years plus now, it's like, oh, that's a new place, water. Like, it works for that. And it could be Naboo. It could be, I know we're way in the future. It could be a return to another planet we've seen that has water, but just to be like, snow, forest, sand, water. It works for me. It works for me at that level. Don't need to overthink.
Right. It's literally swashbuckling. It's a swashbuckling adventure. It is so on the nose, right down to his costume, his tousled hair. I gotta wait for the teaser or the trailer. I think it's gonna really win me over, and I think I'm going to. I'm saying this all in jest. And I love Ryan Gosling. I think he's going to bring it. Yeah. And it was also like the kid. I think it was the kid there that made me think of like a Hook or a Waterworld type story. That doesn't mean it's gonna be great. As my voice goes up, it's gonna be fine.
It's gonna be. I'm excited to see it.
That's good.
Yeah. Is that where you want to end your statement? That's
okay. All right, since we're getting controversial, here's what I'm going to say. Not that long ago, I had a friend of mine who has a contact at a toy company. And the person at the toy company said, look, I know you, female, love Star Wars. We don't make Star Wars toys for girls. We make Star Wars toys for boys. And this person was like, it's just a fact. Like, it's literally just a fact. Quote unquote, boys only buy our toys. That's who we make them for. And I've thought about that. And my friend was really like kind of disheartened and also like, well, it's just the way it is. Right. And I've thought about that a lot. And I feel like this movie is probably not going to appeal to my kids' basketball league. Right. Maybe it will. Maybe it will. We still haven't seen Mia Goth. We still haven't seen other elements. And not to say that young girls can't love stories about, young boys, which obviously I did. E.T., Goonies, the list goes on and on. Right. But we also do need these types of heroes for boys and kids who identify in that way. And I think that it's important. It's important to show
Mhm.
characters that have empathy, that can be tough, but also vulnerable, and have like, multidimensional, as opposed to just like these Rambo type, you know,
Mhm.
uh,
The
yeah,
80s.
right, exactly. As those like
Yeah.
muscle guys, right? Power of the Force type
Yeah.
figures. And so,
Right.
yeah, it's okay. This movie may not be for me. I'm gonna go see it, of course, and I'm sure I will love it. But it's gonna be a tougher sell for my kids, to be honest. Like I can get them to
Mhm.
Mando and Grogu, no problem. Take them to Alamo Draft
Mhm.
House, get them some food. They're gonna love it. This one,
Mhm.
I don't know, and that's okay. That's okay. That's the beauty of where Star Wars is. We have a buffet, and I'm not going to go on some, series where I'm ranting and raving about Lucasfilm and
Mhm.
Star Wars. It's just me acknowledging, like, okay, it's not everyone's getting their moment in the sun. How about that?
Yeah. Yeah, no, there's some heavy things in what you're saying there that I understand and agree with. That in light of we were all looking forward to a new Jedi Order film led by Rey Skywalker and a female director, Sharmina Ben-Chinoy, which is still in the works as far as we know, or it might be swallowed up by the Kinberg trilogy. Without a doubt, in these charged times, you and I are trying to respectfully step around landmines.
Mm-hmm.
That sometimes what something feels like isn't necessarily the intentions of the creators,
No.
but much like the releasing of a trailer that was planned a while ago that serves as a distraction, sometimes the perception is the reality. And I think there's some things that we here at ForceCenter, not others. I'm sure there's going to be someone going, not a problem. Quit getting political. But like
Right.
we think about it, and we're always going to think about it. Why? Because we're fans of Luke Skywalker in the height of that 80s with Rambo and Schwarzenegger and all these things that I love too. Luke Skywalker, without that build, threw down his weapon and won the day with empathy. And a lot of that
Right.
was lost on the generations who wanted him to grab a lightsaber and run down the hill and kill everybody in 2017.
Right.
In general, I know some of you have some reasoned takes on that film, which I respect. But in general, that was the Mecha Luke was the response, which means you miss the thing. My dancing around it, Jen, and I'll let you respond here and finish this thought. If this is to be a film that goes towards those more classic demographics,
Yeah.
which there are realities to it, even our demographics here at ForceCenter, I go in them, I go in the analytics. I know who's listening and who's not listening. For us, it's not necessarily the same for every podcast. But I do hope that maybe this could be something that people, particularly young men, will gravitate to and pick up the lessons there.
Mm-hmm.
That without a doubt in the world, without getting the specifics of incidents, young men who are lost in this world, influenced by a lot of ill-intentioned forces or even just careless forces at best, might need to just hear a good Star Wars message that features them doing something different. We're putting a lot on a film that I think is going to be a popcorn joyride,
Right.
but that's also Star Wars too,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why I think going up top, I do get so angry and calling out people by names now. We're just like, there's great value in this stuff if we see and let ourselves take in that value. And I hope the film hits that to your excellent point. Anyways, I ran it too long. It's your great point. Finish it how you will.
No, I mean, going back to, I showed my kids some old stuff like the Phantom toll booth from the 1960s, and the Lorax, the original Lorax, and I was
Mm.
shocked by how explicit the messages were about, being kind and working hard and being respectful of our environment. And I was like, wow, this stuff wouldn't get made nowadays. Like, it's so like
Mm-hmm.
overt, but we need those kinds of messages. Kids need that kind of like heavy-handedness of like what is right,
Yeah.
what is wrong, how do you treat people, how can you be a good citizen of the world. And I was at a middle school recently for all girls, and the teacher was amazing. She was an older woman in her 60s, and she's like, this is a great space for young girls, and she was going on and on about how wonderful it is for young girls to feel supportive and feel like they could just thrive and be themselves. And then at the end she was like, but you know what, we also need that for young boys. We need that for
Yes.
a space for boys, and
Yes.
obviously people who are non-binary want to feel safe. The point is that I want everyone to feel good. I want everyone to feel empowered. And I feel like we've gotten so far from that. And I look at those old stuff from the 60s and the 70s right after the civil rights movement, and it's like, wow, we were on Sesame Street. We were on such a great path, and how far we have strayed. It just is really it's really, really sad. And so, yeah, I don't know. I don't know
I,
what the answer is.
yeah, no, I agree. I think young boys being shown a pathway to caring, pathway to empathy, and pathway to making decisions outside of themselves for other people. Again, it does come from Star Wars. It does. We don't know what this film's going to do yet, but you've brought up an excellent point that your gut reaction to this film or this photo so far is to be like, might not be for me, but more importantly, might not be for my daughters. And that could end up being true. I hope it's not true. I hope it becomes a more well-rounded production. And I trust the people involved. I mean, Gosling as Ken was one of the most powerful messages, not just against patriarchy, but of the self-inflicted harm that patriarchy puts on a lot of men, which our pain is about third or fourth or 10th on the depth chart versus the other folks experiencing it. He gets it. He's there for that. But it's a Star Wars picture that needs to be zim, boom, zap, zang, and all those wonderful comic book, sound effects there. And it will be that. But I hope it's more well-rounded. But I think it'd be important to have those at the center of this film.
Yeah. Yeah. Good to have this
All right.
buffet.
Hey, hold on, Jenn. What about them pants?
Oh, the pants. I mean, the gloves. It's really the gloves where I was like, that feels so.
It's the gloves, huh?
Princess Bride. Like, it's really the pants. And I saw a wider shot. I think it was a paparazzi shot of him on set. And it's fun. I think he was like wearing a baseball hat or something. I love it. It's like so, like I said, it's so on the nose. This is a Star Wars pirate. It
is, yeah. I absolutely love that there. And like, it's Starfighter, so I know we're going to see some Starfighters. We're going to see some pilot outfits there, but I like seeing at least some of it on the water. All right, final story here today. One we'll take a kind of a quick swing through, but Jenn, you have a lot of thoughts on it. Star Wars Visions Volume 3. Trailer and cast announcements were released. Some of the American cast members include, I'm just kind of seeing this for the first time, Freddie Highmore, George Takei, Harvey Guillen, love him from What We Do in the Shadows, Jodie Turner-Smith, Judith Light, that's great. Simu Liu, Steve Buscemi, get out of here. I'm just seeing this for the first time. I'm stumbling through this. I apologize. Steve Buscemi, that's great. Hello, fellow kids. Jenn, the third volume drops October 29th on the now more expensive Disney Plus. Your thoughts on this?
Okay, so that answers one of my questions. If there was going to be an English dub, which is a very Eurocentric thing that I was like, oh, there doesn't need to be one. But okay, so that's interesting. Mesmerized. I was mesmerized. Sometimes when I watch trailers, I get distracted, even though they're like only a minute long, or like I find myself kind of like pulling out my phone. I did not. I was like, the visuals just stunning. And I was like, you know what? This is the future of Star Wars, in my opinion. I really, really think they need to have a film in the theaters. Demon Slayer surpassed 600 million at the global box office. It just came out, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. I believe Star Wars could do those kinds of numbers. I think that they need a series on Disney Plus, Visions,
which they're getting.
They are getting. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, which one is that one again?
I believe it's the Ninth Jedi.
Is it the Ninth Jedi? Okay.
Yeah.
Is it I don't remember. I don't know. Anyways, my point is, okay, I'm glad that checks off one box for me, because I really feel, and if you look at the comments on YouTube, which are always scathing, these comments, they're positive. They're like, this is what I want from Star Wars. This gets me excited. I haven't been around for a long time, but now this brings me back in. Lots of comments like that. Because it seems so new and a fresh take, which I think people really want.
Is it? Yeah, no, it is. And that's generally, I think, the reaction to the series. And I've enjoyed, I've always been clear, trying to bring clarity in be sober about my feelings about this. The visions that they have not been my thing. Watch them all, love them. I really, this trailer included. It is just a testament to the imagination that Star Wars can inspire by wonderful creative people. So I'm excited to see them. I want that to be clear. It doesn't move my needle as much as others, but I'm fascinated by what you're talking about, Jen. You included of just like, hey, this brings things I just didn't think possible in Star Wars. This does push the boundaries and the barriers of what you can do with your Star Wars storytelling, and that clearly has been what people are reacting to. And whether it's for me or not, doesn't matter at that point. It definitely connects.
It really does. And I think it targets a different audience slightly, which is like it targets kids, but it also targets like the tricky generation of like teenagers and young adults who are very, averse to anything cringe, which some of these things, Mando and Grogu or the Ryan Gosling thing, it might be cringe for some young people. Star Wars Visions did not seem, it's truly like they're works of art. The highlights, the Chewbacca lifting an Ewok, the Ewoks celebrating. I was like, oh,
Right.
there's like a little child holding the bear droid. I don't like holding their hand. Too sweet. There's a red hair character that's like assembling like Voltron with her little droid that sounds like R2. I just was like, I want it all. I want it all. I want 15 to 20 episodes of each single one of these.
Yeah. And it could get to it. Volume 3 is a return to Japan where it all began. 9 shorts, of course, from 9 different anime studios. David Productions, Kamikaze Duga, plus anime. The list goes on, and my dumb English tongue shouldn't read all these. But that also brings the return, Jen, of Ronan from the Duel, F from the Village Bride, Locke Hara from the Ninth Jedi. So we're going to continue the stories that we began in Volume 1. And I hope they do that with Volume 2 as well with some of the stories. But that kind of scratches that itch you're talking about, too, of more. Now you get to go revisit these characters that have already been established for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I really wish that they had like the Netflix model where it's like, 2 seasons, 10 to 15 episodes that I can just put on for my kids and they can just watch. And I can pop in. Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Yeah. So drops. Excuse me. Woo. Don't have breakfast right before you record, kids. This drops, like I said, October 29th, Jen. So perfect Halloween weekend treat for you.
Yeah. Speaking of Halloween, Molly Damon posted this picture of the Sith witch, Ventress as a witch. It's an action figure, and I really wrestled. I was like, if it was easier to get, I think I would have just impulse bought it. But that was the first time in a long time where I was like, I want that. I want that so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
Celebrate Halloween, Star Wars style. Well, there you go. That's our quick look at Visions Volume 3. We'll, of course, take a look at it when it releases and dive in a little bit more. There you go. Jen, any final thoughts of the state of Star Wars this week? Solve it all in one comment.
Oh, I feel like I've been all over the place. But you know what? I love that we have Star Wars stories to find joy, to build empathy amongst children and adults, hopefully. Oh.
I hope so too.
Yeah, we hope.
I hope so too. There you go. Star Wars for the silly to the profound. That's why we like hanging out here. That is it for this week. Our quick look at Star Wars news. If you're watching at time of release or this week on Friday this week, I will be doing about 1 hour live stream. That will be October 3rd, a 1 hour live stream, just myself hanging out with you and calls from people in the Patreon community. If you're a Patreon supporter, patreon.com/ForceCenter, you get to call into the show, and it'll be a lot of fun. But Jen and Joseph will be out, so don't forget to follow Joseph on social media at Joseph Scrimshaw. And if you're local or local enough to Minneapolis, the Twin Cities, come on out October 20th for his movie premiere. Big event, big fun night there. So, Jen, where can they find and follow you as we get out of here?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, mainly at Jennifer Landa, TikTok, sometimes at Jennifer Landa 1138.
There you go. Follow me at Napzok. My website's back up if you want more information on all the things I do, Napzok.com. I just literally had to find one button to press, and I did, and now it all works. Lovely. Follow us on ForceCenter Pod or on TikTok at ForceCenter Show. Podcast is available in a lot of spots. Just search, you'll find us. On Sundays, we re-release Databank Brawl, merch at Fourth Wall or tpublic.com/user/ForceCenter. And again, as I said, support us directly at patreon.com/ForceCenter. That's it for this week. We'll see you next time here on ForceCenter.